No, my mic is on.
All right, I am super happy to be here. It's Saturday night, the day after Valentine's Day. Where am I going here? I'm here. Now I'm here. Hello, welcome. I'm super excited.
If you were to sit back in your chair where you belong. Buck, now you see we need to tilt her up a little bit because she has a new hairdo that's out of frame.
Oh, you like that? This is,
Got the joystick,
I call this my Sharon Tate,
so we went from
not
Sharon
today.
eyelashes
Not
to
today. No, I went from Joey Heatherton eyelashes,
the Sharon Tate
but to big, this is show hair.
big hair.
It's big hair.
All right, Buck.
80s. Is this 80s hair? I could be. We're on me right now.
You're going to go to the Panasonic
And
controller.
I would love
A little joystick.
to start the show. You have no idea how much. I would love to start the show.
Are loving your hair.
They
by the
are?
way.
Okay, wrong camera.
All right.
Tilt down.
And so as Todd directs the tech crew, I'm going to start with you. And I am very excited because we had Valentine's Day yesterday, but honestly, it was the most low-key Valentine's Day, but it was a great Valentine's Day. And for all you gals out there and the guys too that like to watch true crime things, I picked the movie for us last night because the night before I had heard at a dinner table about this film called Girl of the Hour. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but in the 70s when we went to LA to become actresses, for me it was the late 70s, the first thing our agents did was put us on a show called The Dating
You know
Game.
that I went to LA to become an actress as well.
Yeah, I'll say. What happened? That's what I want to know. What happened?
I ended up in this little outfit.
Oh my God, is that the cutest thing? Oh gosh, I'll never forget the first time I saw that hanging your Boy Scout out. Was that your
That's
Cub
Cub Scout. I have the Boy Scout one too, but that's the Cub
your,
Scout one.
Your mom saved your Cub Scout outfit. I mean, how many people out there have their Cub Scout outfit?
And the little Todd towels. I showed him those the other day, the little light blue
Oh yes.
Todd towels. I have
Yep.
all of those.
Oh, my
I have my
gosh.
little first pair of swimming trunks. Those are important things to have when you're trying to get back to your roots.
Yes. I'm talking about the movie I picked for last night, which you fell asleep 5 minutes in. 5 minutes you were out. But it wasn't the movie.
It wasn't.
No, I know you were really tired because when I came in there, you were already, asleep. I had to wake
I
you
was
up
already
to eat.
close to the edge.
You were close to the edge. I had to wake you up to eat your dinner. So he made it through 5 minutes of Girl of the Hour, which is a true story. So I was just telling them, when I first got to LA, my agent did the same thing every other agent did for every girl in the late 70s or all the way through the 70s. And that was put us on the dating game so we would get exposure. So the Girl of the Hour is a true story about a girl that went on the dating game, and she picked the guy, bachelor number 3, and it turned out that he was a serial killer. And this is such a it's a really good movie if you like to be tense, if you like to be in suspense, if you like to think, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, this is the movie for you. It's called Girl of the Hour, and it's on Netflix, and that was our Valentine's Day movie. And he made it 5 minutes in, so I was gripping the sheets because I didn't have anybody to go, oh my God, what's going to happen? It was just that good. So I really enjoyed that. So I hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day, whatever you did. And, you know, this guy right here, he is so impossible to buy for. Christmas, birthday, Valentine's Day. I can't think of anything he doesn't have.
But we went and tell him what we did get for our birthday presents.
Oh, yeah. So we went for our birthday, because our birthdays are both in the same month. Mine was the 11th, and yours is the 24th. And we usually celebrate our birthdays together at his birthday. And so we went at this year.
As it should be.
As it should be, exactly. Yes, Master. So what we did was we went to Lens Crafters because we both needed to get our eyes checked. I hadn't had my eyes checked in 3 or 4 years at least.
Doesn't everybody do this on their birthdays?
Well, I thought it was actually romantic, and to tell you the truth, it probably would have been another 2 years or 3 years before I got my eyes checked because I just don't have time.
And we keep wasting that.
And yeah, because we have insurance for that, so it's like it's just a matter of time. So we went and had our eyes checked together on my birthday morning, 9 o'clock. That was a rude awakening, having someone go in your eye. You know, it's like that's.
Is this what you see when you take? You don't have any glasses on. So
I don't have any glasses
Is it fuzzy?
You know, it's like a nice lens I'm looking for.
Soft focus?
A soft focus lens when I don't have my glasses on. So we got our eyes measured, and then we each bought each other a pair of the Ray-Ban smart glasses. Metas. I don't know if you've seen these, but they have a camera in them.
Gen 2.
It's Generation 2. They're Ray-Ban Wayfarers, and we had our prescriptions put in them. And it has little cameras, little
Well, more than a
lenses
camera,
here.
it's a full computer.
Well, here's the cool part. I'm going to be able to stream live anytime I see something crazy going on. I just
24/7.
24/7, but it's only 30 minutes you can stream.
Oh, well,
live.
that's we could
So
say
I'll
hello
do
in
this.
30 minutes.
I'll go, guys, you're not going to believe what I'm looking at. Watch. And I stream live, and it shows what I'm looking
So
at.
you guys are going to have to be paying way closer attention.
Well, you have to get this is for Facebook, so you're going to have to sign up for notifications when I go live, because if I push
Well,
that
I bet a
button,
lot of people are already on that.
yeah, they are. But the funny thing is that it also takes photographs. It plays your phone, whether it's answering the phone, hello, or if it's music, and you just touch the side of the, what is that, the arm, and you can turn it up or turn it down by just sliding your finger across it. So that's what we got each other for our birthdays this year. Now,
One other thing it does, it was recognition. So if you're looking at a building or some location or something, it can tell you where you are, it can tell you what you're looking at.
why wouldn't you know what you're looking at? That's my question.
Say you're lost and you're in New York City for your first time and you're looking at the Lincoln Center and you're, where am I? And the Meta would see that building and it would say, you're at the Lincoln Center, and it would know right where you are.
Oh, well, I did not know anything about that feature, but I just thought that was cool because finally something that he didn't have. Now, the other thing I did...
That's two things I didn't have, because the other thing is something you're going to show.
Yeah, I am going to show it to you now. So I had something done for Valentine's Day for Todd, and I was so excited about this because I can never think of what to get the man who has everything. It is really, hard. So I was on Facebook maybe about a week before Valentine's Day, and the ads pop up and you want to buy everything you see, but half of it isn't very good, so you just resist the urge to do it. Plus, it's gets crazy expensive. But I saw this company that hooks you up with a singer, songwriter, and you write them and tell them about your life with somebody, and then they make a song out of it, and they send it back to you, and you play it for the person. And I taped Todd listening to it for the first time because I said, I want you to watch something. And so Seth made the video for the song, and the singer-songwriter wrote the song and sang the song. And all I did was say, I want a country singer, girl who, I just kind of said that, and then I wrote my story. Okay, so now, this is the coolest company, and you should all know about it because you could do it for your minister, your best friend, your wife, your husband, your daughter, your son, anybody you want to thank, because it's so personal. So this is the coolest thing, and it's called SongFinch.com, like the bird finch, SongFinch.com. It is so cool. So I had to pay a little more than I wanted to because I needed it immediately. And you get to, if you don't love it, you can have a, they will redo it once or something for you. Well, right out of the gate, this song is so beautiful and so perfect. So we put it to video, and when Todd was listening to it and he started to hear the lyrics, and he looked at me and he goes, ha! Like, what a coincidence.
No, I did not think that.
I proposed to you in the parking lot of the airport in Paso Robles. It's when, did you get it at that point?
Yeah, of course.
You knew something was up, right?
One, let people watch. And
Okay, here we go. So we're going to play it for you. And I was just so happy to find this company. And I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just want everybody to know that this company exists because it's amazing. I don't make money off of this company. I just think that they had a great idea, and I happened to stumble upon it. So here we go. We're going to play it for you, and we'll see how you like it too.
40 years ago I had a crush, but you never knew. Then 40 years went by and chance had me run into you. The moment our eyes met, it was love at first sight. In the Paso Robles parking lot, you asked me to be your wife. Before you came into my life, I didn't know what real love looked like. I don't know where I'd be without you by my side. Dreams really do come true, 'cause God gave me you.
And he's just,
we're going to get him a service tag so he can do a service check.
I just thought,
It wasn't always easy, the both of us have been through so much. You taught me what it's like to be truly loved. You've changed my life for the better in every single way. I can't help but fall more in love with you each day. Before you came into my life, I didn't know what real love looked like. I don't know where I'd be without you by my side. Dreams really do come true, 'cause God gave me you. I always wanted a man that put God first in his life. You've showed me grace and forgiveness, and you're always kind. You're my biggest fan, and you truly believe in me. Todd, you're the love of my life. We are meant to be. Before you came into my life, I didn't know what real love looked like. I don't know where I'd be without you by my side. Dreams really do come true, 'cause God gave me you. Dreams really do come true, 'cause God gave me you.
And there you have it.
I was so happy with that. And it was the first pass. I didn't even say, I'm like, don't touch it. I love it just the way it is. So the people on this are so talented. And I mean, this girl, I
Do you have
love
any
her
comments?
voice.
Or is it just
Oh,
dead quiet
yes.
out there?
There's
Dead quiet
Everybody
out there?
is. We have tears. We have people.
Now, how do you have tears on the screen?
Well, because I can see they're saying I'm crying.
Oh, I'm crying.
saying-
So there aren't actual tears.
No. Well, maybe in their living room, but so
nothing wrong with that.
everybody's saying it's so beautiful. They wish they had a love story like yours.
Oh, I saw someone say something, and I just wanted to make see if I can. Let me see if I can find it. It was was it Marilyn Moore? Let me look.
Madeline Moore.
Madeline Moore. She said, "I want to be in love," and because that's what that makes you feel like, because it really is our story. And I just want to say, Madeline, if you want to be in love, you will be, because we do. You just put it out there, see, and that's how it works. You look when you think about how two people get together, it is pretty remarkable, because here's how it has to be. Everybody has to be available, for one thing.
At that moment.
At that moment, which is kind of miraculous, because when I had my crush on you 40 years ago, you were married, I was married.
Ships passing in the night.
And I mean, it was just like, oh, what a cute man, and he loves the Lord, and what's happening? I was not happy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, you probably weren't either, but we didn't even know each other. I just saw you across a room. So, but then 40 years later, we've both been through a few lifetimes by then, and we're both available. I mean, that's just what's amazing. So Madeline, when things are meant to be, they will be. And when you put it out there, what you just said, I want to be in love. You just made a declaration
So
that
let
will
it be
bring this
said.
to you. So let it be said.
So let it be written.
So let it be done. So let it be done. Exactly. And I love that.
All right, Seth, who said it? All right, there's a trivia for you.
You
Who said it,
stumped me.
folks?
Who said, so let
Watch
it be
it.
written,
So let it be written. So let it be said. So let it be written. So let it be done.
Yeah.
Famous line, famous movie.
Oh, I was gonna say Jesus. I don't know who said that. It sounds very biblical.
No. Do you have any comments? Somebody's bound to come up with
We're
it.
on a lag, so we're gonna see who comes in.
Just checking.
That's right, B.J. Amesbury, 2 or more, she said. But
Well,
Is
there's
Yul Brynner in the Ten Commandments?
well, it's actually the king
Debbie
and I.
Lewis
The
says-
king and I.
The King. Oh, it's Yul Brynner
a
in
lot
the
of
King
people
and
are
I.
saying the 10 Commandments.
Well,
Isn't that
Kat
interesting?
McGowan got it right. She said
Yul Brynner is correct, though.
King and I.
Yul Brynner in The King and I. You know who was in The King and I think on Broadway? Was it Constance Towers?
A lot of people were.
Yeah, who played my mother.
Stephanie Powers was
No,
as
she
well.
played my mother-in-law in Capitol. Yeah.
Well, I thought that was without a doubt the best Valentine's present ever given.
Was it really?
Ever.
You see, so if you want to, make somebody go, oh, go to SongFinch and look this up.
Well, I
because
didn't
it's
do
so
that.
Cool.
I didn't go.
Well, you didn't know about it.
No, but I mean, I didn't go, oh.
You did on the inside. Don't
On
you
the inside.
Oh, yes, you did on the inside. Don't try to squirm out of it, because I have you on tape watching that.
You should play it.
I should. Shall I send it to you?
No, we have Apple TV.
We have Apple TV, so who do I send it to?
You don't have to send it to anybody. You can just log on.
No, I'll just.
No, it's on another channel.
So who should I send it to? I have it right
You
here.
don't have
on
to
my-
send it. You can just
Okay,
just go
hold
on
on.
Apple.
Let me find it. Now, mind you, we just woke up.
Well, do
So
people
everybody's
really?
hair is standing up.
And you don't need to play the whole thing because it's the whole song. So you just have to scoot to the part where I first realized.
So
that
this is just the camera on Todd when he was
See,
seeing this.
if you
He
were to-
didn't know I was taping him.
Are
It's
you-
right here.
Okay.
It's in here.
Now
So
you-
let me get in there. And go. There we go.
Apple TV, and you're in the Cat Theater.
Hold on. Why don't you entertain everyone, my king? Entertain everyone while I find.
Do you want to help
this.
her? Yes. So we'll get Seth to come up and entertain while
Oh God.
I just have to
Anything
find
but
it.
That.
she's asking me to entertain. So that would mean that the camera would have to be on me in order for me to do that.
Okay. Now
So
me
let's
get
see.
rid of
What should I do
this.
to entertain? Well, I could talk about something.
Okay.
We have with us, so part of what we're going to do tonight, besides run you that song, is we're going to read you some love letters.
Tonight we're going to read love letters. Yes, from two.
And specifically,
Not ours.
not ours. We're going to read love letters like from Eddie to Debbie. And some of them, is him trying to be very clever, and he's wooing her. And so this let me get the date situation straightened out here. This one, see this one she wrote on. I think it's really important. So let's go to the
Now,
go to the
before we
close-up.
start, shall we tell them about what we're going to sell on the store?
First of all, let's get through the beginning of the show. I'm going to show this, then we'll talk about what's on the studio store during the hour.
Well, I could
tonight.
just
Because it
tease what I'm going to
Yeah,
do.
you're teasing. You can tease.
Are you ready to go there?
We are ready to go.
Oh, well then go.
I just have to.
You don't get to see this. See this right here?
Now the
There's something on the other
privileges.
side of that. See? I'm not going to show you. But this is what you're going to get to see.
Does that still exist, Western Union Telegram?
Yeah, it's called Facebook.
Now, there's a
They
pop
just
and there's a
changed the name.
crackle.
There's a pop and a crackle.
That's good. That means you got on.
And there's
Okay.
a code that I need, but I don't see a code anywhere.
An airplane
Here,
code.
I'm going to put it up on this screen for you.
Okay.
So the Apple TV is now right there.
I'm going back to YouTube, and I want to say I want to see what everybody's saying because I love that.
So we're going to
art.
put cats. There's your screen. So now, all right. So she is sneaking this, by the way. This is called
Yeah, he didn't know
illegal.
I was doing this.
There in most states, this is illegal.
Yes, I
called
couldn't use it in court.
voyeurism.
Let's just
No,
say
you
that.
can't. Richard
Wouldn't be-
Hamlet could, but you wouldn't be able to.
I wouldn't be able to use
Go
it
ahead
in
and play
court.
it, because what we're trying to do is. Okay, so
me
she's.
setting the camera, he doesn't know.
Yeah, she just said, "Watch this." So I'm. You can see the reflection in the glass. Yeah, now that's all you have to show. So I mean, it's cute. It's fun to see.
But I taped the whole thing, and it was just really great because that's what everybody does when you see the ads for this. It's always people tape their loved ones sing it
The
for
reaction?
yeah, listening to it for the first time. They don't
So
always
did-
have a video, but
Did it say that, or you just winged it on your own?
what's that?
Taped it? Did you?
Oh no,
Did you do that because everybody did it?
I did it because a lot of other people did it, and it was so cool to see. It's
So you
really
watched
fun to
it.
see real life happening in the moment. I love that.
That's
why-
real life. I get confused sometimes.
Yes, it is.
I
That is
know,
as
but I
real as
mean,
it gets.
in my world, for 60-something years, it's sometimes hard to differentiate between real life
Reality.
and other things. And sometimes I even wonder if I'm dreaming or not. Wake up.
You know what? You don't get teary or cry or anything like that. You're stoic like your mother was in real life. But when you hear the national anthem, whenever something patriotic is happening, you get teary-eyed because and I do too because we're patriots. But here's the thing: you get very sentimental, just like your mom did. She
Oh, big
cried
time.
only sentimental tears. I never saw your mom cry for anything but
No, I
sentiment.
even told you when I went to her to tell her that Carrie had passed. I kneeled down in front of her and I really close to her and I said, we lost her, and I just lost it, and she was just, and I was like, because I hadn't got to tell anybody, so I was like, and she didn't react. And then she
I
just
wasn't
said something.
there for that, and this is the first time I've ever heard this.
And she just said something like very softly, like, "Oh, I wish we could have had her for more time,"
I
just
do.
very gently. She never broke. And I was like just losing it. I thought, okay, I'm just some slobbering fool here, I guess.
That's so interesting. The night before that was Christmas. Or a few nights before that was Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And we none of us really knew what to do because she was in the hospital. She was in a coma. It's Christmas Eve. Are we doing this? Are we not? How do we do this? I remember.
Well, I didn't mean to drag this
No,
down.
no. It's not that. But I just
Yeah, I
think
drug
that
that thing.
it's very interesting because there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff right now, and so I think it's very helpful to talk about things like this, even if it's just for a minute, because it helps people to
Well,
get through whatever they're
I
going
think that
through. But your mom
feeling
has,
it is important
Yeah.
when it's time, but it's good if you can control it. Sometimes you can't. I mean, there's many times where I've had to speak, and I just feel like, you'll hear my voice I'll stop, which is
Yeah.
unusual for me because normally I have just
You just
diarrhea in the
barrel
mouth.
through.
But I mean, if you hear me like, like do these kinds of things, you know that I'm choking myself up, so to speak, by
Yeah.
telling stories. I think that's the only time I get sentimental like that. Is the patriotism always gets me,
Yeah, me too.
and I can't explain it because it's not like I was taught any of that. And but you either feel it or you don't.
Right.
And it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of purpose. Jimmy Stewart said to me, he says, man's got to have a sense of country, community. And I was like, you use three ways. I think he said family, country, community, belief in God, 4 things. And the way, a man's got to have a sense of. And then when he said country, I got immediately choked up because he had outlined, these priorities, and even a man. He was not that old at the time. We were dedicating the Henry Fonda Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was talking to him, and I filmed this. I have it somewhere. On camera.
You're
I
kidding.
interviewed him. No.
Oh my gosh, we have to find that.
Oh, it's on the 1-inch tapes in there. It's hard to dub those back. Okay, so now you want to do the auction thing? Is that what you want to do?
Well, yes, I think we should move right along to that. Well, because we're talking about, first off, hello, America. We're talking, speaking of the country, we're talking about Kat and Todd's little love story. So we put together a special item for everybody that we thought folks would like on the studio store. And actually, when the next video plays, I will go actually get a pin for this. What we're selling here is actually going to be, and I'll actually give it to you.
I don't even know what we're up to here.
Well, I'll show it to you.
Are we
What have
giving
we got
away?
here?
Are we
No,
giving?
we're selling these. These
We're
are
giving Kat's wedding ring away.
these. Yes.
What?
These are for sale. No, these are for sale on the studio store, Debbie Reynolds studio store right now.
This bundle?
This bundle, and
Oh,
it
how
is a
cute.
8x10 of Kat and Todd that they will sign here on the show and personalize to you. We only have 7 available. I believe Ryan can confirm with me on that.
Yep.
And then we dug
Oh,
up
you
in
have the postcard.
Oh,
we dug
Oh,
these
that.
up.
wait a
There's
minute.
really not very
Let me
many
tell you
of them.
something. I
We
don't
have
even
enough.
have one of these.
We have enough for this.
Give it to me. I'll
Where
put it on
did
the.
you find this?
Could I have this?
Yeah.
In
I had
in
those
deep
made
cleaning.
for our wedding,
Okay,
and they
going to
were
the
at
close up.
everybody's dinner plate. Now you can't read it, so you have to read it for
Well,
them.
I just get the glare off.
It's still hard to read. It's very tiny.
Okay. It says, "We'll be friends forever, won't we, Pooh?" asked Piglet. "Even longer," Pooh answered. And then it says, "A.A. Minnie Winnie the Pooh." And then at the bottom it says, "Mr. and Mrs. Todd Fisher," and the date of the wedding. So
Yes.
that is.
And I had those made.
So that was for the people.
I
that you-
didn't have any kind of wedding plan or anything like that, except for Carrie's assistant Byron, and Carrie and your mother planned our wedding. So I wanted to do a little something. I
By
didn't
the
know
way, I
what to
found the
do.
bill
You found the bill?
for the Abbey Rents, who rented the
Oh,
tents, the
the
heaters, the chairs, the whole thing. It was a lot more than I thought.
Oh, really?
I thought we got away cheap, but
No, you don't get away with anything cheap in Beverly Hills,
No.
even though we were.
and
it was a
and
simple wedding.
here,
but I mean,
check this out. It cost $500 to get a permit to put the tent up in Carrie's backyard. I thought that was entertaining.
exactly.
Who would have known?
Well, so this is the card that was everybody's place setting, and I always wished I had one of
Well, you
these.
do.
Aww.
They're not that many though.
There
That's
are not
why.
that, there are only
No.
6 of these bundles available.
That's
so
why. So
Okay,
that
let
the
me see
reason
what
why
else
there's
is
not
in
that
it.
many is because we don't have that many of the Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, look at this, the napkin. I'll wait there. And it says Todd, Cat,
You got
and
enough
Yippee,
of those? All right.
because I married Todd and his dog, who then became my dog too, our dog. So that was from the cocktail hour at the wedding. And hold on, what have we got
Let
here?
me have the close up. I'll
and
put
this
it over
is
there.
the Christmas card from that year.
And the Christmas
Close-up camera.
Yeah, I know it has to be from that year because I don't think I've done one since. So I've got yeah. But you know, you're newlywed. You're gonna.
And
do
then
your
it
Christmas cards.
inside though it says, "Oh, Feliz Navidad," and then it's come
No,
close.
it says Fleas.
Feliz.
Fleas. Fleas Navidad, because we had so many animals. So I put Fleas Navidad on the inside just to
Todd,
make
Cat,
it different.
Yippee, Rebel, Molly, Eeyore, and Buddy Boo.
That was my
And you know the
goose.
only pet left there is
Is
Eeyore.
Eeyore. Yeah, amazing. So it is the Christmas card, the napkin from our wedding, the Winnie the Pooh card that was at the place settings, and I guess our picture. And this is a little bundle.
Yeah.
I would shadow box this. This is so cute.
Yeah, and I'll get a pin when we play our next video. I'll go run and grab a
So
pin
there's
so you can
6 of
sign
these
them.
on the studio
Debbie
store.
Reynolds Studio Store.com. There are 6 of them available right now, and let me make sure that they're.
This is the first time seeing this, so
Yes.
Right, I didn't know what we were doing.
it's a surprise a minute.
No, it's fine. I mean, listen,
That's so personal, and I really I love that. You know?
well, there's only
Well,
certain
we had
people.
enough to share. We had.
There's
much
only
are they?
certain people.
They are $50.
Okay.
Only
free
certain
shipping.
people are going to cure.
Free shipping, yes.
And then moving right along from the Love Fest, because we're talking about going a little more farther back to Eddie and Debbie.
Yeah.
We have a very rare Eddie Fisher bundle that is also in the studio store. Now this is, and I'll let Todd explain better, but this is a signed 8x10 of Eddie along with some other items that are going to come with it.
Right. Well, the thing that we stumbled on this the other day. So, if you all remember when we did Bright Lights, there's a scene where Eddie is with Carrie, and within about a year there of that happening, Eddie was, losing his wherewithal.
Yeah.
And I don't know who wanted to do this, but somebody was getting him to sign. I can't remember right now if it was Carrie or somebody. There was getting him to sign a few pictures. So close-up camera. So this was signed. You see how shaky that is compared to. But this is like the last stuff he ever signed. I mean, we found what, 3 or 4 of these. There was a little stack of them, and this one I think it says something like. I'm not sure even what that says. It's a name. It could be a name. And then here was a cool picture of Eddie and Debbie and Carrie and Rocky, the poodle. Isn't that cute?
Aww.
And so that's vintage. But this, very rare because it's his last stuff. And then along with it is these are the performances, close up. It's a DVD of his performances. So this is the Hollywood Bowl that I've talked about before with Louis Armstrong and other things. So it's music, live video. A lot of stuff was for Coke Time. And the last thing is his CD that was out. And this does have some re-recorded songs. Oh, no, this
live.
This is all live. So this is not the re-recorded one. So this one was actually older and available. So this is, of course, so whatever he did live, it's a whole series of songs. In fact, some of these I don't even recognize as his big hits, which is kind of interesting. Like he did an Al Jolson tribute, which I don't even remember that. So anyway, music, DVD, last thing he signed. I'm telling you, this goes. It's like I have a beautiful.
Eddie bundle is gone.
I have a beautiful oversized poster
Uh-huh.
of Spartacus. I mean, it's big.
Yes.
And I showed it to my mother. This is when I first got it a long time ago, but it wasn't that. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 2012 or something, maybe before that. And she says, I'm going to get Kirk to sign that for you. So I give her it's dangerous to do this, but I give her the linen back thing, and she takes it, and she goes and she gets Kirk Douglas to sign his name on the sword. And this reminds me of that because he was kind of losing his skill to sign perfectly.
Yeah.
But what an amazing thing when you can, it's important, to be able to listen. Like when you hear me, I mean, we were there when these were signed, the last things he signed. So this has got an interesting provenance. There's plenty of times where the stars at an autograph show and they were at the autograph show and they were in their prime or whatever the case may be. But something at the end of their life, I think, is kind of unique in many ways. And like to me, that Kirk Douglas thing, I'll never sell that. That's like one of my favorite things. And of course, I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus. And everybody out there, come on, everybody.
I
hear
am
you.
Spartacus.
There you go.
We're always quoting movies. Take hold, man.
Take hold, man.
We're always
It
you know
twirled
those.
up.
But there's a great moment. When he gets up and says he's Spartacus, and everybody around him says they're Spartacus. I mean those are great moments, not only in movies, but it shows a depth to the human heart. And there's no end to what we will fall in love with.
Yes. Yep.
And what we'll do for those that we love, and they loved him.
Well, everything is gone. Our little bundles are gone, and Eddie's gone. So we thank you so
Did
much.
I get to keep one of those things for myself?
I really hope that you find another Winnie the Pooh card because
No, you know what?
I wanted that so much.
I
haven't
put one
seen
on
it.
your desk
Didn't get
upstairs.
one
No,
away. I
listen.
kept some for you guys.
Did you see what I did upstairs? I
Sell
found
it
one of
all.
those cards and put it on your desk upstairs. So
Yes.
I have one. I know of
But
one.
there's like about 7 or 8 other extra that are
Oh,
still around.
that's good because I always wished I had kept one of
And
those.
there's about 45 napkins left.
Now, the
I
first
wished I had
person-
kept-
the
I
first
wished I had
person-
eaten the fried chicken.
Oh, don't test them, Todd. They'll do it.
The first person that's willing to pay for the shipping, I will sign this can to them.
No, I know
And
Frank
and
is
he
gonna
will
buy
send
that
it to you.
can
So
now.
whoever wants my espresso can, I'm going to sign
will
it to
watch
you in
it.
Sharpie. You have to pay for the shipping. That's the only cost. First person that sends you a note gets my espresso can.
That will cost roughly $4 to ship across the country.
I have no
I know
idea.
because we know exactly what.
But
things
it will
cost
be
to ship.
empty because I'm going to finish this before the end of the show.
And
I
I'm going
guarantee.
to rinse it out.
No, I'll
That's
sign it on. I'll sign it on camera.
Yeah, I know. Well, you'll sign everything on camera tonight because that's
John
what we do.
Greer just claimed your Starbucks can.
Okay, John. So I'm going to
John.
sign to you,
DNA.
John, on here. Didn't we owe him a bunch of pictures?
Yeah, you
who's
signed
the-
them today.
Didn't you give me a whole folder full of
Yeah,
pictures?
And
you,
we
did,
have-
did you
and-
sign them yet?
No, because
Oh.
John, I needed to understand. Like they're all different kinds of. They're like news.
Right.
Like he's got the picture of me coming back to the airport after I came back from Africa, where I didn't show up for a month, and then I showed up and my mother was there and she was pissed, and
Why?
because I had disappeared in Africa for a month. She had to get the American consulate to try to find me, and they could not find me.
It kind of happened when we met too, and you disappeared for 10 days, and she was furious because you usually talk to her almost every day, and you dropped off
Well,
the planet, and I was the one that got blamed for that.
I tell you, it was the timing of all that because she was super worried about me in those days. Because of losing Christy, and I was on the ranch by myself, and she didn't really know. She was always checking in, like, what's going on.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure, and Carrie was constantly trying to fix me up.
She did fix you up.
Well, not exact. Yes and no. You mean the Beverly
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. I mean, but that was a little different because, Beverly and I knew each other for 35
That's
years.
true.
So it
But
wasn't.
still, there had to be a conduit.
No, but she brought up some people that I didn't know, and I was like, no, I don't know that person. And,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I could tell you, and I know we have this in common. I have never, ever been to a bar or a club or
Yeah, I haven't
anything, and
either.
ever
Yeah.
met anybody of any consequence, and ever did anything. I've never gone on any dates
You're
like
more
that.
likely to meet somebody in the frozen food section at the grocery store.
You'd be better off,
You would be better off, but I honestly am not
especially
kidding.
the
I think
organic
that-
section.
I think sometimes the grocery store is a good place to meet people, but here's what I really think.
Do you know that I've had my ass pinched more times in a grocery store than anywhere, any other place on earth?
Well, it is small and cute and pinchable. That's all I'm going to say.
In a grocery store?
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods,
On Little
of
Santa
course.
Monica.
Isn't it always the people that eat clean that pinch you in the ass at the store? That's what I want to know.
They were
Yes.
that I'm just
I
saying.
wouldn't even know. I can't even get them to look at Walmart, so I wouldn't know.
Maybe I should get you. I'll tell you where that place was.
Oh, yeah.
You're about my age when that was happening to me.
That's right. Whole Foods didn't exist. I think you're thinking of, what was it called? It was called something else.
Trader Joe's, maybe.
No, no.
No, it was Whole Foods. Maybe not.
Not when you were his age.
No, I was
No.
like I was like 32, so whatever.
Well, if you were still getting pinched at 32, you were doing pretty good. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that's held together. Like my mother used to always talk about that right leg, and that's why she's got the slit down the right side in her costumes here. I always felt like my butt has held together pretty well.
You
Everything
said that,
else is shot.
Here's another thing I want to tell people because it's just after Valentine's Day and we're all talking about love. And here's the thing: if you meet somebody, you got to be smart and you've got to find out as much as you can, as fast as you can, without any. So we called it full disclosure, FD. Remember, I said there's something I want to do with you. I want you, because we weren't talking on the phone yet. We were really still just writing each other emails. So I could see that it was moving towards we were going to meet each other, and it was kind of scary because I hadn't dated in a year and a half by choice. And I don't know what I was a little scared of. I guess because I hadn't dated, and then before that I was married for 17 years. So, I don't know. How do you do this, right? I guess a lot of people probably feel like that. And so I said, I'll tell you what, you write everything down on a piece of paper or send it to me in email that you think that I will really like about you. And then you write another list of the things that you think I'm not going to like. And I'm going to do the same thing, and then we'll email that to each other. And to your credit, you did it. You wrote a list. You sent me a picture of you and Yippee that you took in the mirror first thing in the morning.
In my underwear.
In your underwear with your hair standing up. And then I said, I like that. That's not a deterrent for me. That's no deal breaker. You were pretty honest, I will say, after all these years. And I was too. But if someone won't do that,
You didn't tell me about the keys, though. You
that I
losing
lose my
all
keys
the
all the time?
That
Or no,
wasn't
I
in the-
misplace my keys.
No, I
There's
know,
a
but I'm just
difference.
saying that wasn't on the list. And I
Keys,
just want to say
glasses,
formally,
phone.
though, that wasn't on the list.
Well, there's some things that weren't on your list either, but you know what? After all these years, we're just going to let it go, right? So here's the thing, girls and guys, if you are interested in this sort of thing, if someone is not willing to sit down and write a list for you, and be honest, because the cool thing about the list is you get to compare the list as time goes on, and you go, oh, wait a minute, you said on the list. You said on the list. It's right there, black and white. And we didn't really do that. But it's good to make people think about themselves in that way, because people don't stop and think about what their attributes are. Good attributes, bad. They don't ever stop to think about what might be annoying to another person.
Well, then there's
Or-
also people, though, that might say one thing and do other things.
Yeah.
And then, you talk about, like, Eddie, for an example, with my mom. He put on
Eddie
a show.
had a personality disorder. He was a narcissist.
Right, but
Which is like as bad as it gets, other than a psychopath that, serial killer or something. My narcissism is rough.
my mother went from the narcissist to the addict to the sociopath.
Wow. I never thought about that. You're absolutely right.
And just to bring everybody up to date,
Geez, the next one could have been a serial killer.
well, I think we've had enough with Mr. Hamlet. Mr. Hamlet, Richard Hamlet, last time I think I mentioned this was a few weeks ago, I said that he had been indicted on bankruptcy court fraud in Roanoke, and he was convicted, I guess fairly recently, of bankruptcy fraud, and he is going to be sentenced here very soon. And I have been asked to address the court. They mentioned my mother in the arguments against him for sentencing, because he basically is saying that his dog ate his homework, and he's just an innocent victim, and all of this stuff that's happened to him is a big mistake, and he can't remember what he was saying, and so that's why he lied to the courts and all of that. But he has a history of doing all of this, as you all know, because you probably read my mother's book. So I get to sort of be the last word as he's getting his sentencing. And so in my mother's behalf, I'm going to write a letter to the court, saying that she was not able to have any satisfaction in her lifetime, that she went to her grave with this as unfinished business.
Yes.
And that her last thoughts, were like he had just gotten away with it and there is no justice here on earth. The good thing about my mother, of course, is that she knows, certainly by now, that there is justice after this game. So,
Well, I do believe that people know what's going on I always like to say
Oh,
down
now
here.
you mean.
The
Oh,
man in
yeah.
the sky. But, you know, like what's going on down here. But, you know, honestly, people don't get away with things, really. I mean, you really don't.
But some people don't
you
even know, like a guy like this doesn't even really think he ever did anything wrong. I mean, he's so gone, you
Right.
know, that I've seen his show.
Yeah.
You know, ever since I met him the first time I really interacted with him was a little Christmas stuff that would go on, and we'd give gifts, and we didn't know him very well. And I visited Roanoke, Virginia, way back when they first got married. And I was with Dusty, and we were working on a little documentary film. And while I was looking something up that had to do with the documentary, I was at the Roanoke newspaper office, whatever the name was. In those days, there was no Google searching. And I went into the newspaper office, and I pulled his file. And he had been indicted like numerous times for bank fraud and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, holy mackerel. I mean, so I went back to the house and I pulled my mother aside. You know, in those days you'd put money in the little copy machine, and it was the mimeograph,
Right.
you know, little film strips, and you could print copies. And so I had the crummy little copies. But so I copied all those pages, and Dusty and I were like, fuck, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell your mother? And I was like, well, I have to tell her. So I tell her, and she goes, oh, yes, I know. He's explained all that to me. You know, so I kind of was like, okay, well, I don't know how you explain some of this away, but okay. He wasn't convicted. So he had a lifetime of getting away with things, including during the divorce and the judgment we got away with him. He literally got away with everything. He was always the smartest guy in the room. Until now.
That's what I mean. We don't get away with
Well, what
things.
happened, though, is
In
that
the end, you don't.
they played the sympathy card, though. He is old. He's 89 years old. You know, and if you saw him with his walker, and they put on the old man in the sea routine, and but the jury didn't buy it. Now, you know, the juries are impartial, right? It's not me. But even I would tell you this. This is my whole trip on this, and this is the message. If he would get up in front of the court and show some remorse for how he ended up here and what he did in life, including what he did to my mother, any bit of repentance, I would feel inclined to show mercy. That is who we are. And on the other hand, if he were to get up there and do what he usually does, which is cop an attitude, then I would say, forget that, let justice be served accordingly, which could have him do time. He's actually facing a certain amount of time and fines. So it's an interesting lesson in life, though. So I think the lesson, you know, Kat will tell you this about me. I'm a pretty forgiving person.
Very. In fact, there's times I just think, that's a rough one. And, you know, I'm all about forgiving. I really am. And when people say, oh, forgive me, you know, most of the time there's nothing to forgive. People are so sensitive, and they think, you know, that you need to. But you have forgiven people for incredible things that are tough to get past. But forgiving is for the forgiver.
Yes.
And it also happens to make the person. People don't even have to ask you for that. And we should forgive people on our own, you know, look, there's some things that are just, what is the hardest thing you've ever had to forgive? Let's start with that.
The Academy.
Yes,
In fact, that we were watching TV.
this morning.
Right now, they're running the Academy Award-winning or nominated films, and they ran around the world in 80 days. But earlier this afternoon, they had a segment on where they were talking about how fabulous they are and self-gratifying, patting themselves on the back for being the museum and collecting all the things that they've collected. And I was,
We both looked
we were
at
like,
each other like,
oh my
brother.
goodness. I mean, it's nauseating, to tell you the truth.
Oh, I know. Well,
And-
you lived through all the
I mean,
the,
I
nobody
don't-
thinking it was important.
But I don't begrudge them. I think we need the museum. We want the museum. We want to move ahead with all of it. But it's just like how we got here.
Where were you?
You know the old story, it's like you're standing on other people's shoulders.
Yep. Boy, it's funny you should say that, because this has been happening to me a lot lately, but then again, I do have that kind of mind. That has gone through my head probably 12 times this past week.
That's all I could see, though,
Yeah,
when I was
that
listening to those
saying.
two people. I was like, yeah, I hear you, and the only reason I can hear you is because your head is above water because other people are holding you up. You're on other people's shoulders. Not just my mother.
Yeah.
Mary Pickford.
Yep.
There were people that championed this long before.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, now my mother was, of course, the most famous collector, but not necessarily the greatest champion for the museum. There were a lot of others that wanted that museum. My mother, though, put her money where her mouth was and had the largest collection. Anyway, I would say it's hard for me sometimes to get past that. And that's why I ran it for you. You saw I had said nothing.
Right.
I sat there, I was just like,
Oh, I said lots.
no, you were more verbal
Well,
or.
I was angry, not in a rah, 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 rah way, just like, okay.
All I
know,
could
that.
see is my mother under him, holding them up. That's
Yeah.
what I could see.
Like this.
Well, they're standing on her and she's under the water drowning
Yeah.
because of them.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
But personally, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to forgive? This is such a great conversation because we all are called to forgive.
Well, I'd say
and,
my father represented, there came a time where I had to understand that there was no connection there as a father, and that I had to accept him more as a friend. Even though on paper, like I have a piece of paper that says that he's my father, but like that's it. Like he didn't understand that. He didn't know how to be a father to my sister either. That was tough. And some of the things he said about my sister and my mother at times, literally, I don't think anybody else would have gotten that slack. I might have punched you in the nose if you'd said some of those things to my face.
Yeah, well, and so what in you made you able to do it, to forgive?
Well, clearly my following the principles of Christ
Yeah.
would be that the higher power is the power of love. And you have to look past all of those things here. What do you see? There was a famous little thing where they would hold their hand up and they would say, "What do you see?" And people would say, "I see 8 fingers," or however many fingers. And really what they were trying to say is, look past it and you see me. And sometimes you have to look past the stuff that's in your face, and rise to the higher ground. And, forgiveness is certainly the higher ground. And there's no upside to hate and holding grudges and all. There's zero upside.
For either party.
Well, I'm talking about, no,
the
for you.
forgiver, yeah.
Right. Like forgetting the whole circumstance, just like carrying around all that baggage never did my mother any good. And I used to talk to her about it, and, she would release it begrudgingly,
Right.
I paid a lot of money for this. Let me own it and be pissed.
Yeah.
That was kind of.
Right. Well, you really have to get the feelings out. It's not like you just go, "It's okay." No, you have to get it out first to get to and whether
Well-
that means yelling at the wind or crying or whatever. I think if you don't give your feelings their due, that it's like try to sweep things under the carpet. And what happens? You're cleaning the house and the carpet goes, and you just
But
get
a lot
hit
of
with all
people,
the dust.
a
It does.
lot of people respond to how they have observed others responding, whether it be in the movies or in real life. They respond the way their parents responded. They saw how their parents responded. You learn these lessons of response from people around you. Now, that's not always the smart maneuver. A lot of times you have to forget about what you think you know.
Yep. Before we move on, because I really am. I love this show so much. We never know where this show is going to go, really.
I planned it all this
You
morning.
did not. But we don't know where these shows go. My Friday night shows are the same thing. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about for an hour or more, but we end up having really good shows. Tonight's show for me is really good because I love talking about personal things like this and stuff that other people might be going through right now. So we're going to definitely keep that in mind for future shows, because I think we've been getting a lot of comments about how much people are enjoying this. And I think talking about relevant things that people think about and talking about feelings and fear and all the things that we go through is so worthy. But before we move on to the love letters, there's a couple of things I want to say. One is if you bought a bundle and you would like for us to sign your name on the picture, could you please let Ryan know that by commenting, and then he will let us know so we can do that live on the air, and you'll get a little clip of it. And the other thing is that the cruise, the Cat and Todd live cruise, is coming up in June, and March 1st, which is hurtling towards us right now, is the end date that you can join the cruise. So Ryan or Seth will put up a link right now in the messages so that you can see the details and go check it out and see if you want to join us in June, which is also hurtling towards us. Do you realize we're going into March?
I do.
It's
In fact,
incredible.
I was talking to Ryan about the cruise the other day, and it looks like we're going to run one of the Star Wars films and then me do a Q&A. And we're going to be in the main theater,
Yep.
the big theater.
The big giant.
And
the theater where they do all the big shows.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'll also bring, for those of you that have never been to our house, I will be bringing some artifacts, Star Wars artifacts with us. So, I mean,
Sort
I
of
think
display
almost
for them.
everybody online has probably been here by now. But if they haven't,
No, they haven't.
no, I know.
No, a lot
No,
of
I
people
know.
haven't.
I'm teasing, you know I am.
Yeah.
But that's the point. We'll bring some stuff so you'll get a chance to see what others have seen before you.
Yep, yep. And John Eric St. James, we are signing your posters today, so we're going to get those out on Monday. And next Saturday, I'm going to show.
Did
the
we ever
audience
show the
these
poster?
Oh no, they're so awesome. John Eric St. James.
Now, aren't we
designed
going to
these
make those available
posters.
for people?
We are. And we'll all talk about it next Saturday night because we have so much going on tonight. But John Eric designed 2 posters that were just mind blown. They're so amazing. And he has agreed to let us make copies of them in case people want to own one because they're so beautiful. You have designed something so unique. One is for Debbie, one is for Carrie, and they're just awesome. So thank you so much. We love it. We're signing that, and we'll get those out to you on Monday. So the cruise, let's see. What else?
Well, if you're in the Pennsylvania area, Kat is going to be
if you're in
doing
the
her
Pennsylvania
one-woman
area
show.
or anywhere near Pennsylvania, it would be worth the drive and a one-night stay if you have to.
I'm driving all the way from Las Vegas
I wish you were
to
going.
go. Me too.
I know.
Are you really?
We're going
No,
to.
I'm
no,
not.
I
She
said
said
I wish
she
he
wishes
was.
I-
Oh, I'm going to be performing on April 26th in Annville, Pennsylvania, which is about 15 minutes outside of Hershey. We have an incredible. It's at Annville Cleona High School. It's a state-of-the-art theater. There are a lot of seats. It is for the Four Diamonds. We're going to have so much fun. I'm going to do a little mind reading at the top of the show. Then I'm going to do a comedy hypnosis show. That'll just be so much fun. If you need to laugh, you need to come to this because you will laugh until you cry. It is just so fun. And the tickets are very inexpensive. They're $10 for students, $15 for adults. Those prices you don't usually see at a theater, so this is just something you should really, really come see because it's for a good cause, and I'll get to see everybody, and I'm so excited about that. So I'm going to have Ryan or Seth put a link up to that.
It's all at
CatherineHickland.com. It's at my website if you want to buy tickets or support the Four Diamonds, CatherineHickland.com, and it'll tell you all about the night. We got the tickets today. Ryan sent me pictures of the tickets this morning, and they're so beautiful, and we're just going to have a great night. So join us for that. And I think that is all the public service announcements I have for tonight. So we're going to get on with the show, I believe, unless you have some other plans.
Oh, no.
All right. I am so excited that you're going to. You know, it's so funny because remember Eddie said once that he never really loved your mother. Did he not say that
I think
somewhere?
he said it more than once.
He did.
He wrote it in a book.
He wrote it in a book.
Right.
And you know what's great? That you in your lap have telegrams
Well, here's
and
the
letters. And, you know, why would somebody say something like that?
Well, you know, people like, okay, it's a common thing to want to rewrite history.
Right.
common.
'Cause
Every
you-
day,
otherwise, you're just wrong.
every day you turn on the news, you listen to people talk, and some of those people are revisionists. They would like you to believe that history is what they are now saying, or they want you to remember allegedly something that happened before that is now happening today. And these things have nothing to do with one another. So there's always this revisionism going on. And my father was no exception. Now, he had a good excuse because, he did a lot of drugs. And so he used to say that he couldn't remember things. That was his excuse.
Yep.
But that's really not the case. But because I talked to them about this stuff on the side. But what was interesting is for my whole life growing up, my mother never said one negative thing about my father, ever. When I became I tell you when it was, when I bought the ranch in 1988, and my mother gave me some things to start storing at the ranch. And I'm not sure exactly why, but she gave me a bundle of things that Eddie had given to her that contradicted his book, which had just come out at that time. Mm-hmm. And I didn't, and she basically handed it to me and says, you can do with this as you will. And, she did not include these in her books for some reason. She didn't want to be the one that was putting this stuff forward. She gave it to me to decide if I wanted to put it forward. So I'm going to put it forward right now to you. And these are in sequence. These are starting with some telegrams that were written early on in 1954, early in their relationship. Now, I'm not saying I understand what a lot of this means because he's trying to be clever. But let's go to the close-up camera. I'll just show the telegram.
Okay.
Okay, so
And you say that this sort of communication still exists or not?
see if I get the glare off of it. Yeah, I don't know if you could send a telegram like this. But I'm showing it to you because it says, first of all, he sent it to Mary Frances Reynolds at 1034 North Evergreen in Burbank, California. This was sent September 25th at 5:48 a.m. So he was probably on the East Coast. And here's what it says. It takes three to make love. In hearts, the lover, the beloved, and the love. Unsigned. Now we know it's from him. But I'm not sure what that even means. Should I read it again?
Read it again because
okay, I'm gonna,
I'm pretty good at the
No, I know, but
deciphering
I don't
language,
understand what this
but
means.
this is
No, but he used to try to quote Shakespeare and stuff to make her think that he was deep.
Oh.
And that was obviously an illusion. It takes three to make love in the hearts. The lover, the beloved, and the love.
Oh, okay. The
I mean-
lover, the beloved,
And the love.
and the love. So,
So there's three components.
yeah. The person who is...
The two people and the love itself is the third element.
well, the lover, the beloved, and the love. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much what it means.
All
I
right, but
think.
it's to me, it's kind of like, okay, I'm not impressed. Like if she was wounding me, I'd be like, good
Well,
luck.
it sounded a little bit the way that the serial killer talked in last night's movie.
Ah,
The
yeah, that
Girl of the
clever
Year.
sort of thing.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was-
so the next one in the sequence, by the way, comes just 12 hours later.
Okay.
Now, this would indicate obsession.
Oh,
When
because
you're-
the date and time are stamped on
Except
these?
it's now 11:51 a.m., so it is now some period 6 hours later in the day, or
Now,
it's
were
afternoon.
they just courting at this point?
Yeah, but he really is trying to land her. Same
Yeah.
address and all that. Now, here we go again.
No, he's coming in hot here.
Another quote. If thou must love me, let it be for naught, except for love's sake only. Now, clearly he's quoting somebody because he could not possibly write verse like this.
I would guess that's Shakespeare.
Right. I don't know.
It sounds a little
It does.
Romeo and Juliet.
It does.
Yes.
So I'll read it again. So I'll show it. Let's go close up just so people can see the telegram. Go ahead. The telegram that Debbie never published, never showed anybody except me. So there it is. And this one, of course, is signed Edwin Jack. And it's written to Fanny Reynolds, not even Franny. Her nickname was Franny, but he used to change her name all the time, like for fun. It's like a joke. And that was actually clever. One thing I actually thought was endearing. All right, here we go. Number 3 in the sequence. Now, this is important because this is actually a month, not a month, but almost a month later, not quite. Now this time he addresses Miss Debbie Schwartz. Now, you know, part of this is because they are
Famous.
yeah, and people are really all over them, and you really can't do
Right.
everything the same. But same address. And now this time he says something kind of interesting, and there's something written by my mother at the bottom of this one in hand, which makes this more unique.
Okay.
He says, "Hey there, any chance for a date tomorrow evening? Your knight in Coca-Cola armor needs you." Now, go to the close-up. You see this? It says, "Our engagement night." So this is when he
Wow.
proposed to her that night. So this telegram comes within a month of those other ones, and now he is proposing to her. And this is her handwriting. She
Yeah.
wrote that on there, maybe just so I would know. Obviously for me, right?
Yeah.
So our engagement night. Okay. So
Your
now,
mom probably, you know what? When you wrote your book, it's such a good book, but your mom left you so many clues and so many details and so many things like that.
right? Well, one thing that I'm able to do with all of this is I am able to balance the book. So when I wrote my book, I can balance certain truths. So now the follow-up is a handwritten card to all of this. So after that evening, like shortly thereafter, close-up camera, now you've been landed. You're
Right.
mine. You see that?
I do.
You're mine.
You're
You hear me?
mine.
It says, "You hear
The
me?"
plane is at the gate.
Good. EJF. Edwin Jack Fisher. So now she's been landed, and then now this card was purchased in New York City on a card store on 47th Street. Oh, on Broadway. And here is what was on the inside of the card. Whatever shape you're in. And then he actually says "wow" over the figure with the big boobs and the shapely thing. Now, I don't understand this at all, to tell you the truth, but he thought that was impressive. Do you see?
Oh yeah.
But it's a strange thing to give to your engaged. Does that mean that he
Whatever
thinks that
type-
her shape is like that?
Whatever shape you're in.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he obviously thinks she's in that shape, which she was.
Yep.
But still, anyway, little odd, because don't forget the deed has, you haven't gotten to that yet. Well, maybe he gave her that ring, though. Important point.
No.
Engagement night.
But no, this is the wedding band.
Oh, we don't have the other one.
We don't have the engagement ring that I am.
Actually,
aware
I know what happened to that.
of. You do?
Yeah, they got broken up into rings from my grandmother and grandmother. Grandmother and grandfather. She
Oh.
took them apart and gave the
I think I recall
stones.
you telling me
Yeah.
that, right?
Okay, so that is, I have others, but this sort of lays out that story kind of an interesting way. Now, here's one of my absolute favorite collectibles that I have,
Okay.
and it's little. And you've heard me tell stories about how, of course, you all remember this. Let me show you a close-up of this. You remember Christmas cards? You put these things on your package, these little cards?
Yes.
They have little holes in them where you would
Yes.
tie them.
Mm-hmm.
See the little hole? So this is a Christmas gift tag that was to Eddie, but this one's from Elizabeth. So this is a note written to Eddie from her
As
at Christmas.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor, my stepmommy. Mommy too. This one is fascinating. So if you can catch, this one is important to understand. This gives you a lot of insight into Elizabeth's state of mind. Eddie, I love you. Always love me. Please, Elizabeth. So I'll show you a picture. Go ahead and close up that.
Wow.
So think about that for a second. Love me, please. And it's on another line, so you got to get the pauses right. So, I love you. Always love me. Dash, please.
May I see
Elizabeth.
that? I'm going to just see.
So, that's like one of my prized possessions in some respects.
Her handwriting is very
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's not that far off from her mother's
Debbie. Well, they
handwriting.
learned at the same school, don't forget.
Yeah. It's very similar, but the way she signed her name is incredible. With the dash and the please.
So now you read it.
Todd.
Let me hear you read it.
Todd, love me, please,
Always.
always. That is,
But no, read
What do
it.
you make
No, just
about that?
read it, the whole thing properly.
all right.
I want it. Put that. Let's let her read it.
Eddie, I love you, always. Love me, please.
No, I want to.
Oh, no, no. It was a different reading than what you gave it.
I did because there's a pause. There's a dash
Okay.
before the please.
But it's Eddie, I love you, always.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Eddie, I love you. Always love me, please.
Please. Yes.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Because the dashes.
There's a dashes.
Yeah,
are-
well, there's a dash after Eddie.
I know that
love
was
you.
those to me are beats.
Always. Love me, please. Love me, please.
Now the reason why this is super important is
Well,
because
what is that?
well, we've been finding out more recently with the Liz tapes and all these things that she was always could never get enough, never really felt loved. Ever
I
since,
thought that was a fascinating documentary.
well, I think it's
the
very,
Elizabeth tapes
I think
were-
it's very true when you consider all of the facts, and you look at her neediness in many different ways throughout life, and why the marriages didn't work and the struggles over the years. The things that she told me, about the way she felt about Mike Todd, and how she was sort of filling the gap, with Eddie. But even with that, they were close friends. I mean, what we're talking about is, should you be married to this person, or should you have just been friends? They were all just great friends. So Eddie wanted to take it further, and she went along with it because she was very needy at the
Well,
time.
yeah, what's interesting is what somebody just asked, IG just asked, was she in grief? Because
course.
Mike Todd had been killed, so
Eddie and her got together immediately, or as Carrie likes to say, Eddie immediately rushed to the side of Elizabeth after the death of Mike Todd, slowly moving his way around to the front.
yeah.
And she always used to like to say that, but it is absolutely true. I mean, everybody rushed to her side to support her. And everybody loved Mike Todd. I mean, he was a very lovable character. People loved him. He was a showman. He was very charismatic, and he had landed Liz. He was like the Taming of the Shrew story.
Yeah.
Truly, in many ways, like he had tamed Elizabeth.
Right. But, it's so funny because I remember you saying that she told you that Mike Todd was the love of her
Right.
life, right? Okay. But I don't know why. Because, I am not like jaded about things. But I feel things, So when you told me that, immediately I thought, yes, but he died quickly. They were only together for a couple of years when he died. And would it have been true? Because how many times was she married?
Well, prior to
Like
that,
9 or some
well,
crazy
no, in
number?
the end, yeah, but it
But,
wasn't.
but would it have been true that they would have been the love of each other's lives, or would their marriage have made it?
Oh,
because she was so very.
Oh well, you could say
everybody
that.
was
You could
very
say that
dramatic.
about anything, but I
That's
mean,
true.
we really will never know. But I mean, let's just put it this way: 30 or something years later, that's the fantasy in her mind,
Right.
because she is selling it to me, and I mean, let me tell you what it's like to have Elizabeth Taylor in your face, telling you all of this.
Yeah.
You are not going to question it. I mean, she's telling me this with passion, and she's like, and I was trying
And
to.
I'm sure it's absolutely true.
Oh,
I just always wondered.
No, but it's how
what would have happened.
Here's
had
why
he
it
lived.
contradicts the lost tapes and all that,
Mm-hmm.
because it was 30 years later. This is how I feel now, 30 years later, telling this story. In retrospect, I can look back on my life, post Richard Burton, post all of this, and I can tell you this is how I feel. And she didn't say anything like, I didn't love your father, but she kind of she
I forgot about
downgraded
Richard Burton
him.
completely, and that was twice, wasn't it?
Now, later in the tapes, and like when those tapes were done, she would have said Richard Burton was the love of her life. At that moment, that's how she was, right? In a way, this is how my father was, too, in many ways. And I don't know if Liz was like this, because I wasn't around her enough to see the repetitive nature of this. But my sister was like this with people. That with you, when you were with her, you were her best friend.
Yeah.
And you thought, oh my God, I'm her best friend. And then the movie would be over and everybody would go home and she wouldn't even take your call. It was like, who's that on the phone? Who is it? I don't know that person. I mean, she would like forget you that quick. And it's at the moment, it just seemed like, man, we were best friends. And they were, people came to me all the time, devastated like this. It happened with my father, it happened with Carrie, and it happened with Liz.
Yeah.
And the same thing would be with relationships. I mean, there's just no chance. But I could tell you that, like, when I was sitting with her, I was even closer than we are.
Yeah.
And looking into her eyes, with that intensity, I mean,
Were her eyes really violet?
they were a violet color, yes. They were obviously like an off blue, but in a room light, like this light, they looked kind of violet-y.
Yeah.
But more importantly, they were just beautiful and intense, bright. Even at that age, by the way, don't forget that, she was in her 50s or something at the time, I'm guessing. Anyway, she was very intense. So the point of this story is to say that, she felt that way about my father when they were together, and then she grew away from him because she was on the rebound. As your friend pointed out, she was in grief. And Eddie was possibly, in many ways, he was a great friend to her and stood by her and loved her dearly. He loved her. That was the love of his life.
Yeah, for sure.
And he tells that story. Unfortunately for him, it takes two to tango.
What happened?
Let me put it this
how did
way.
she-
On Valentine's Day, he did not get a song.
No, there was no song.
No song. No one said about them,
You got a song.
I got a song.
Okay, now, how did
I have more.
How did Elizabeth drop your dad? Were they together? Was it in a telegram?
No.
Was it in a smoke
First-
signal? I mean, how did
No,
that go down?
first of all, unfortunately, it was bad. I mean, there was cheating going on. Everybody knew it except my dad. He was trying to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And if he had any pride or self-respect at those moments, he would have said, goodbye. I wouldn't have given her 10 seconds. I don't care how pretty her eyes are.
Right, but that's because you do not give up your dignity. And let me tell you, like, we have all given up our dignity at some point, okay? But that should be the one time that it happens, because you don't know what you're actually doing when you do it. And so when I'm with friends and they are going through a breakup, or they sense it coming, and they start to, like, hold on tighter. And I, in my book, The 30-Day Heartbreak Cure, I write about this because it's our default is, when we don't want the relationship to end, is to hold on to it a little bit tighter. When in fact, that's the time, if you do want that person in your life, that you have to loosen your grip, because the harder you try to hold on
Love
to
is a
something,
rose.
the more it tries to get away
Love
from
is
you.
a rose.
And you better not
Pick it.
pick it.
Only grows when it's on
grows
the
when it's
vine.
on the vine.
Lose your love when you say the words mine. And then, love is a thorn.
Yeah.
It has thorns. And I just always thought that my dad was handled it in some ways okay if you watch some of the newsreel footage, but in general he lost his self-respect. He really did.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he,
it's very easy to do. I don't judge that, because everybody's done many things that are not what you would do if you're in your right mind, and you're not in your right mind when you're hurting, or you're in grief, or you're being broken up with, because you're not. The greatest thing to be able to do in life is to be able to step out of yourself when you're going through something you don't want to go through. Just step out and watch it like it's a play.
Well,
You're the audience, you're not the cast member. It is really
If
doable,
you can do that.
and it is doable.
I was
You just
fortunate.
have to know what you're doing. You have
I
to
was
first
very
of all have the
fortunate to have my
concept.
mother as a mirror at times.
Yeah.
And she gave me not she was not quick with advice because she knew that she was not like had the track record for her personally. But she gave me advice several times in life like that, and made me understand
Well,
where I
your
had to
mom
draw
and
the
I,
line.
we had conversations about that, and so I know exactly what you're talking about. And it really is important that you be able to step out of the play.
But when
and
she
watch
said it to me, I remember looking at her like, really? I'm not sure I want to do this. I didn't say that, but I
Yeah.
was thinking, do I really want to do this? And I could see how adamant she was about it, and I just knew that she was right, that it was more important.
Because that's not what you were wanting to do at the time.
Not at
her
all. No,
advice.
because you always think somehow you think you can fix this. Well, I do. That's
Yeah.
me. My nature is I can fix anything. There's a manual somewhere on the internet or otherwise that you can read and learn to fix it if you don't know already how to fix it. But when it comes to love, man, these things are not easy to fix.
But if you don't become a Klingon, which is what, we basically become a Klingon, if you don't wrap yourself around their ankles and beg them not to leave, in whatever form that takes.
One. I don't know. Oh, maybe they're just a little loud. I could turn it down
Oh, you'll
here.
turn them down. Just refrain from grabbing their
One.
ankles.
I would just say that.
I'm gonna push mine back a
No,
little
I mean
bit if
mine's.
it's
I'm
loud.
watching the VU meters
Yeah.
from here.
But it's much likely because here's the truth about men and women. I think women we're not from Mars and Venus, as the book says. It's a good book, but we are not from Mars and Venus. We're from planet Earth, all of us, and we have to learn how to get along and understand each other. And so, what are you doing? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's getting
Oh,
ready
he's
for
getting ready for the
signing.
signings.
Okay.
And it's really, if you just let people be, that's how you know you're in a good relationship, is when you feel like yourself. Someone's in someone's presence, that you feel like they appreciate you just doing you. And a lot of people can't do that. They just can't. They can't let you just be. And, if I want to go do something, you never say to me, don't go do that.
I should though.
But you never do. You're always like, okay, see you when you get home. And I don't go out that much. So when I say, hey, I'm going to meet some friends tonight, that's something I really want to do because I so rarely ever go anywhere except on the road. So, it's just letting people be is so, so huge. And the older you get, the more important that is. Was that you?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So anyway, moving on. What a good, fun conversation
Wait, I have two
that
more
is.
little things. They're pretty
Okay.
fast. This is a letter that I wrote my mother. You see where it says, she wrote it right up here. Can you see where my thumb is? It says Todd, save. And then, so that's addressed to Mary Frances Reynolds at Lameda when she lived at Lameda. And this is a card that I sent her. It says, now that we have a mature adult relationship, there's something that I would like to tell you. This is a card to my mom from me. You're still the first person I think of whenever I fall down and go boom.
Aww.
I love you, Todd. So
And your mom wrote Todd, save. She loved that.
She kept everything I ever wrote to her, every single scrap of paper, every single, and Carrie too. I'm talking little bullshit notes. She kept. Now here's one from Carrie. Carrie writes to Debbie Reynolds. Now this is she's up a little later. This is up at Coldwater. And this is a card from Carrie. And when I open it, it says here, let's see, upside down. Okay, here we go. It says, for my beloved Mombi, loving you from far away till I love you again close up. Your baby, boo, Carrie Francis. Isn't that cute?
It is, and I remember the last Christmas, the Christmas before they graduated to heaven. The Christmas before, Carrie was in a very high, manic, mood. She was in a really good mood. Everything was great and huge and big.
Rollicking Roy was out and
Rollicking
about.
Roy was in the house, and I was talking to your mom, and Carrie was like jumping on the bed, and your mom was in the bed, and I was talking to her, and Carrie came in the room, and I had said something, and I said to Debbie, Mom, did you do this, or did we do that, or are we going to do this? And Carrie was so larger than life at that moment, and she goes, "It's Mombi." And that's the first time I ever saw her like that. You know what I mean? Like, she was just so passionate about calling your mom Mombi, and that we all had to call her Mombi, so
It was her endearing term.
Yes.
Now, this next letter is not from Carrie. Now, this is a letter, just see at the top there? It says BD, dated June 21st, 83. Now, BD stands for Bette Davis. There you go. So, dear Debbie, by the way, look at the frickin' penmanship on this letter. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Even I can read it.
Let me see it one more time real quick. I want to see. How do you write in such straight lines when there's no lines on the page?
That too.
The penmanship. No, forget it, Seth. You're like a doctor. I can't read 5.
Dear Debbie, I tried to reach you by phone without success. Read the interview you gave to the Enquirer stating that you hoped that you would not be in the position that I am in, having to do a series due to my financial status. I hope at 75-year-old you are in the professional position that I am in today, and I hope you have as much money in the bank.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's a little lecture, right?
Yeah.
And then it says, the hotel, that's the series that she was in apparently, right?
Yes.
Okay. Has better scripts than most of the movies today. Aaron Spelling is one of the last intelligent producers in our industry.
How about that?
I know, isn't that wild?
Yes.
I would appreciate it in future interviews if you would have enough respect for me not to insinuate that I am broke. Bette Davis.
And that was to your mom?
Close up, yeah.
What, did your mom insinuate that?
Well, what's funny about this that I always loved
Because they were
is,
such good friends.
no, because my mother kept this because she never did any of this. The Enquirer stated,
Oh.
let's go back. Now that I've read it, I'm going to go back and break it down for you. Read the interview you gave to the Enquirer.
Oh.
Stated that you hope that you'd not be in the position that I'm in. Like I actually talked to my mother about this, and this was like one of those occasions, where they go off in La La Land and take something out of context. They print like half of what you said.
Oh, back then the Enquirer was just awful. I mean,
they would just take.
But there was no big lawsuits back then, to
But
tame
here
it
are
down.
two good friends, and like she wanted to talk to her on the phone but couldn't reach her, but she had to get this off her chest. And eventually what happened right after this is they spoke, of course. My mother was like, I never said that.
Yeah.
That's totally out of context. It reminds me of me telling Harry Carl, you can't believe everything you read in the paper. I mean, it's incredible that we all have to say this over and over again. After everything we know about the press, my whole life has been filled with bullshit from the press. It has been filled with just endless lies and exaggerations and distortions and omissions. You cannot believe anything. You must take everything in, analyze it, look for the truth yourself, and arrive at an intelligent, common sense position. Try to really understand what's being said, because everybody's getting so excited these days.
Well, and the internet,
Makes it even worse.
Well, social media is where everybody gets their news from now, and and people, it's who's just writing something as if it's official. I mean, sometimes if it's not a super credible source, which is 95% of the time, I mean, it gets nasty.
But
It's
here
no different
here
today.
are close friends
Yeah,
being put at odds
from the National Enquirer.
because the National Enquirer misquoted somebody. And it's going on today. I mean, just change the name to whatever network you choose.
Right.
And it's not always networks. By the way, it's not just networks misquoting. I mean, there's plenty of people out there
Oh,
with
no,
big
yeah.
mouths saying things that are not true. I mean, there are plenty of people.
They might think it's true.
Oh, and that's okay. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but when you're trying to get to your opinion, it'd be better if you weighed all the facts. And so here was a situation where she panicked because she tried to reach you by phone without success. So I'm going to jump to the obvious conclusion.
Yeah, but still, it's a letter from Bette Davis that we happen to have now.
I
which is
have
kinda
lots
cool.
of other
I've
ones.
never seen that before.
I just happened to find this today, and reason why it struck me is because of the media today, the way that this problem exists still and worse.
Right.
There are more outlets than ever that are now the Inquirer.
Yep.
And because of them misquoting and editing things, we just saw some major network interviews that were edited, and it seems kind of harmless and subtle, the editing that took place, but it did change the meaning of it.
Yep.
And do you really have the right, to do this? They think they do.
Yeah.
Here is the Inquirer editing Debbie Reynolds to the point where Bette Davis is insulted by it, and and close friends are being injured by it, all the way back in 1983,
Gosh,
42 years ago.
83. Trying to think of where I was in 83. Oh my
Any
God,
comments on any of this?
I just had a Vietnam flashback.
You're over here
That's right.
snoring.
Saying first off that they can't believe that Bette Davis believed the Inquirer, but also that they are just so grateful that you're sharing all these mementos, the letters, because we haven't ever really shared letters like this.
True.
Personal.
True. Now, speaking of that, didn't you have a clip?
I do. If you would like to play it, we can. If not, we don't. It's up to you.
We could. You want to
The
save
show
it?
is running pretty long.
We'll save it.
Yeah,
What I was
save
going
it.
to.
Yeah.
We'll use it next week, and we'll keep that on the stage.
Right. Okay. You are going to sign the pictures to the people that bought them, and I have their names.
You're not signing them?
Yes, I'm signing them, but you go first. I'll tell you what. We'll do it at the. Well, how can we
How
do
about
this?
I sign, then you sign. I sign, then you sign.
Okay. So those of you who bought the bundles with the picture
I'll
of
give you
Todd
the
and I, we're
names.
going to sign them on the air so that you can get a clip of it. And is Kyle with us tonight?
Kyle
Ryan?
is with us tonight.
Aw, boys, why don't you come say hi?
so give me a
to
name.
everybody.
The first name is going to be Frank. I'll let you guess who the last name is.
Okay,
Hi, Frank.
cut to me. I'm signing on camera, Buck.
There you go.
Okay, here's your picture. I think Frank has other pictures from us, so I must say something different to Frank.
Yes. And in the meantime, while you're doing that,
Okay, so
I'm going to look over here at any comments that. All right. Thank you, Terry Dixon. Oh, gosh. Okay, I love reading. what
okay,
people
here's
write.
Frank's close-up camera. Frank, we love you when you are asleep. Love, Todd.
There you go. Who's next?
That, I'm telling you, Frank, you are in very
Next.
good
No, go ahead
company.
and do the next because this will take too long.
Next
Okay.
next is Barb.
Okay, Barb Battlemente.
B-A-R-B.
Kevern,
Oh,
I
Barb
believe.
Kevern.
B-A-R-B.
Hi, Barb.
Yes, Barb Kevern.
She'll be on the cruise. Okay, there you go. Hello, Lisa. It's good to see you.
Okay, here's Barb's. I gave Barb a little bit different version of this. I said, Barb, we just love you.
Love that. That is fantastic.
And
Okay.
then John, John, John Greer.
And he wanted something on the back.
No,
Oh, that's
I
the
have
Eddie
that.
picture. Okay.
J-O-H-N.
John, yes. So, and then he also bought the Eddie lot, and he would like for you to sign the back of the Eddie 8x10, as well as the shot of your mom, Carrie, and Eddie.
You're looking awful good tonight, Seth.
Well, I received the compliment. I just rehearsed and then tossed this up, and
And you're going to work tonight.
now we're doing. Now we're yes.
Yeah,
now
so
I'm,
I know
I'm
that you have to
producing
leave
this show,
soon,
and now
so
we're
we will
going
wrap
to.
it up.
Oh
So-
no, you're fine.
Okay.
And, then I have
And
another one.
oh, right, that's great. I'm reading
wanna
Ryan.
give it a
I'm with you.
Okay,
Ryan,
here is his. I said, John, you are a great friend. Love, Todd.
Aw, there you go, John.
I
Greer.
could say when you're asleep, but I left that off.
And
That's
then
right.
the next one is Lori.
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 Okay.
Lori.
Do I know Lori?
I don't know if you know Lori. Let's see. Which Lori is it?
Give me one moment.
Let me see if I know which one. We have a few Loris.
Lori Harris is her name.
Lori Harris. We have not met
All
Lori
right.
yet. All right.
But we still love Lori.
Right. Someone is asking. Brian Liss is asking about autographs, and I don't think we don't.
There is Lori's.
Do we have them on the website?
I said, Lori, the
They're on
force
Cat
is with you.
Cosmetics.
Aw.
They're on catcosmetics.com as well as I have to check if they're on the studio
Yeah.
store. So if not, we'll make
Brian,
it active.
we will
What's
put them
next?
on the.
The next one is going to go to Terry, Terry.
We will.
Do I know this, Terry?
It is Terry Dixon. I
Okay.
believe you have met
I'll
her
write
quite
it.
a few times.
What are they under at catcosmetics.com?
If Kat and Todd signed photo.
Yeah, but there's
Okay.
a.
There's Terry's.
Why
What
don't
section?
I'm going to go, let me get it and I'll post it
Yeah.
in the comments.
Okay.
Got it. Next.
The
Who's
next one is going to go to Latest Styles.
Leytes.
Correct.
And you know Latex, of course. And I think there's just one more after that,
Mhm.
right? And Madeline. Okay. We have a couple of birthdays in here. I don't know which one, so I'd love to know that.
Last one.
Madeline, and that's Madelyn. All right. Madeline Moore, who wants to find love, and I love that. Walk out on the skinny end of the branch, I say. And there it is for Madeline Moore.
There we are.
And that's that. Okay.
Madeline,
and-
you have found love. We love you.
Yeah, I
Aw.
love that. Aw, you're something else. You really are. And John, I will make sure that he signs the back of the Eddie
Eddie.
picture.
Yep.
All right.
Well, you want to do that on camera for him?
We-
Sure.
yes,
well, it's
we
right
can-
behind your camera right there.
So
if
he
you'd
wants
like
me to just to sign the back of it?
the back of the Eddie photo and the front of the other one, and there's a black marker next to
Okay,
Kat.
there's a black marker right here. And then next.
So he wants it personalized then,
Next is our
The
giveaways.
John?
group shot. Yeah,
not just sign.
I don't believe so. On the group shot
Okay.
of Carrie.
All right.
And you might be. Well, are you in your mom's tummy at that point?
Yeah, I was.
You are getting your sign now, John Greer. And after this, we are going to do our giveaway. So if you are watching us right now, when you came into the room, and if you said something, your name would pop up in the chat, and you were automatically entered into the second prize group, the first prize group, which is the my goodness.
Some things are, they just, the way they
Here's-
come out.
It just
is-
went out of my
Here's
head.
John's photo. I said
right.
to John, I'm too small to see in this photo.
That's right. So if you're in the room right now and you've made a comment or you want to get on that prize wheel, it's called the. What is this called?
The giveaway wheel.
That's not the giveaway.
No, it's not called the giveaway wheel.
No.
It's called the
Ryan.
wheel. The randomizer. The
random-
randomizer. That's. Oh, I didn't know you
I'm
were.
t-
You
I
said
am so
wheels. We're
tired.
both
I
tired.
forgot to have coffee before
on
the
the
show. and
same
I'm
length.
like that. Okay, so
Take a
the-
slug of
Now,
that.
don't forget, you promised John Greer that can to
That-
sign
yeah, I'm
to
gonna-
him.
You're not going
John,
to drink it, then give it
I'm
back.
not gonna drink it.
Well, then I have
I've got
to sign
things
this.
to do. you.
John,
I've been-
come back to me a minute.
Okay,
John,
there you go. It shall be signed and given. Oh, there you go.
We'll be signing Todd's shoes next.
You want to
if
sign it
anybody
in
wants
gold?
to
I
put a
have that
bid
right
in.
here. Okay. Here you go. Now,
DNA.
so the
Double
randomizing
signature.
wheel is for the people that have entered and chatted in the room. Your name automatically is on that wheel. In a moment, Kyle is going to bring the wheel up on the screen. We will spin it 6 times. 6 winners. And then after that, for the people who donated to last week, you are on the second wheel as well. But there's far less names on that wheel, and you have a better chance of winning the super prize, as we call it. So that is going to be next, all right? And so stay tuned, because we're about to give stuff away. There it is. Kyle's got the randomizer on. Here we go. We have 6 winners. Let's go for number 1. I will get the prizes. I don't know what they are, but here they come. All right. Mary O'Connor. You know what? Mary O'Connor, did she win last night?
She won last week.
sure, and
week.
she be the winner for both times.
But she's hungry as a horse.
Mary O'Connor.
Okay,
She be coming down the country lane.
Mary,
Feeling peculiar.
you have
Something
won.
peculiar. Suddenly.
I'm so tired right
Sure,
now.
and now I don't know where you've been or
It's
what
funny
you've
to
done,
me.
but I'm glad to see you won first prize.
Don't let me come on without coffee next week.
Ever.
That's all I ask. You, Mary O'Connor, you have won the Miracle Working Foaming Cleanser. It's made by my company, Cat Cosmetics, and that's catcosmetics.com. This is the best ever, 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 because it takes all your makeup off, boom, and your eye makeup, your face makeup, and it leaves your skin super soft because it tones it at the same time. So that is the Miracle Working Foaming Cleanser coming your way. Everyone that wins tonight, take heed, man. You need to write us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com and make sure that you claim your prize and give us your address so we can get this sent out to you, okay? All right, next winner, Kyle. Spin that wheel. All right. And our second winner tonight is Ruby Putnam. Congratulations, Ruby. I think this is the first time you've ever won, and you might even be new here tonight.
Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday. Who could hang a name on you? I love that name.
Ruby's a great name. Ruby, you have won the Miracle Working Cream to Gel Moisturizer, which is a huge seller
And you got
for
a free song from me.
catcosmetics.com, and you got a free song from Todd. But this is just so great. It makes your skin, not only moisturizes it, but it tightens it up and makes it glow. So this is an incredible cream. So many people's favorite. The Miracle Working Cream to Gel Moisturizer is coming your way. Ruby, make sure that you claim your prize and give us your address by writing us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com. Let Ryan know your address, and we are good. Okay, number 3. Okay, let's see. I don't have one to show, do I? No. All right,
Can't you just
Lori
describe it?
Harris. Yeah, I can describe it, but it's really pretty to
Play with
see
it, but you don't want to open it.
This is called a color. It's a Miracle Working color stick. No,
Close
no.
up camera.
No, no, it's sealed.
Okay.
All right, look at that. So it's beige lights, Lori, made by catcosmetics.com. This is
Now I can have the close up camera.
now you can have the close-up camera. This is if you go
Close-up
to Todd's
camera.
close-up camera. There you go. Now point it into the cam. There you go. This is an amazing, it's a highlighting stick, and I'm going to put it on my face and show you how to use it real quick. Lori, I love this stick because it can be used for the eyes, the cheeks, the face, the lips. I'll do it on my lips first. I love that. And I always have it in my bag because whatever lipstick you're wearing, it frosts it up and lights your face up, and I love that. I like to put it down the bridge of my nose, or just my nose. I like to put it on there. And I especially like to put it here and here. And I don't know if you can really see, but what it does is just makes your skin glow. And it's not fake looking. It's just really pretty. You know, I really pride myself on the products that we make or carry because it makes such a huge difference, you know, when your skin is glowy. So that's what you have won, Lori, make sure you write us and let us know, okay, your address. Perfect. Kyle, let's moving on to the next one. And it is, all right, Deborah Willett. You have won the CD of
Eddie
On
Live.
Stage with Eddie Fisher. And these is a CD of some of his greatest love songs. Your dad really could sing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't much of a dad, but dang, he had a great voice. You know, he really did.
He made up for it in verse.
Do you know, if that scandal hadn't gone down, he probably would have been bigger than
Oh, my gosh.
Sinatra. I mean,
For sure.
he was
No, he definitely toasted
huge,
himself.
An amazing voice.
No,
yeah.
he toasted himself.
He toasted himself, exactly. I'm sorry, could I just see the winner again from this? Deborah Willett. You make sure you give us your address and we will get that out to you. Congratulations, Deb. And I think that there's one more? Two more. In this round? Are we 6? Okay. All right. Let's see who the winner
Now,
is.
that doesn't have stuffed pictures in it, or does it?
That doesn't have the black ones. Those are the ones you put to do for giveaways because the heads aren't cut off, but it doesn't have the black.
Okay. Jama Taylor. Jama Taylor, you have won a copy of Todd's book, My Girls, A Lifetime with Carrie and Debbie. You are going to love this if you have not read it. It is so good. And I'm not just saying that. 'cause
And we'll
it's
sign
sitting
it to
here
you
and
before
my
it
husband
goes.
It really is one of the best autobiographies ever. I love this book so much, and so congratulations. Please make sure we get your address so we can send that out to you. And had you handed me one more thing?
He
or-
walked away with it.
I think that was it. He walked away. Okay, so let's spin that wheel. Remember when we were kids and we'd spin the wheel and get a kiss?
By the way, you see I found that little thing over there. Did you show that to her? Bring that over a second.
And then we're going to the super wheel.
Look at this thing that I found that we had.
Oh, Philly Mood 2, Diane Vasquez. You know, you've really been around the block for 4.5, 5 years when you know people's names from
Oh,
their
you know their email even.
Yeah,
Look at, can you see the thing?
Oh, yeah. So that's so fun. What do you do? What are we going to do with it?
We're going to use it for a giveaway one night. We'll have
Yeah,
a
well,
random.
that's my little. I used to use that all the time.
I know we
Okay,
did.
who is the last winner of this? Yes, Diane Vasquez. You have won Do It Debbie's Way, the video. It is sealed, so it is a true
It was a
collectible.
best-selling,
It was a best
one of the all-time best-selling exercise tapes.
exercise
Her and
videos.
Jane Fonda.
You know what? Why don't, did they make any of these today for like a women over a certain age? Because it's hard to keep
Well, you
up
can
with
still
this.
do it Debbie's Way. It's available online.
It is? Where?
So
On
that's
YouTube.
you know who's
On
who's
YouTube?
collecting on that is Paul Brownstein.
That's who I have known since I was 17
See,
years
produced
old.
by
so
Paul Brownstein.
Isn't that funny that Paul Brownstein is one of the first friends I made in the 70s when I moved to LA, and he produced Do It Debbie's Way.
This is really funny. It
That's
says here,
crazy.
here's a quote from Dick Clark about this video. Now, why would Dick Clark quote about this? But it says, "Now I know why Debbie looks younger every year. I'm going to do it Debbie's way."
Well, Dick Clark looked young until the end.
Here's Lana Turner. "Glamour is exciting. Exercise is hard but necessary. Do it Debbie's way."
Aw.
I do. Lana. Lana. There's some funny quotes here. There's Terry Garr. I miss Terry. That was a good example, actually, of the story I told a minute ago.
What?
Carrie and Terry were neighbors when Carrie lived on Lookout Mountain before Carrie made it big.
Terry Garr was her
Terry
neighbor,
Garr was
yes.
her name. She was an actress. And she lived next door to Carrie with Paul Brownstein, the producer.
What?
They were together. And Carrie and her were best friends. And we all used to hang out. And she was tight with Carrie. And then Carrie got into the New York crowd. And that was the end of Terry. And I remember she was one of those people that was kind of like, what happened? That was it.
What year was that about?
Oh, early or late, right at Star Wars, 70. I was gonna say late 70s.
Yeah.
So right around the Star Wars, she had not made it big yet. Then she kind of made it big at that moment, and then, all of a sudden that house went by the wayside, which is what happened. It was a little tiny little house, but that's when that was it. That was a good example of. Just back seat in the rear view mirror.
Oh, no. I never heard that people are okay. We're now going to the super wheel, and the super wheel consists only of the people who donated last week on the page here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of our people who donate and to the people who purchase our things, because this money is very important. It goes to the legacy
Carol, get that
projects that
stuff.
we work on
Here.
here, and the production of this show, which is no small thing. We have Ryan, and we have Kyle, and we have Seth, and we have the set, and we have all the things that go along with it. So we so appreciate you donating for that. And so we have the super prize now. So one person from last week's donors whose name are on the wheel. Kyle, bring up the wheel, and let's see who won the super prize. There you go. It is... Oh, the suspense. It is Andrea Sodman. All right, Andrea, you have won. This is such a good super prize. You have won a piece of the Debbie Reynolds dance studio floor. And the floor also was the floor at the MGM studios back in the golden age in the rehearsal dance floor. Now, this
And read her the number on there. 'cause
and
she's got
these
a-
are numbered. So let me I have to put my glasses on to see. Oh, you have yours on. Go ahead.
I'll
There-
just look at it for you. It's 26 of 250.
So we had we engraved the first lot for 250 of them, and this is number
26.
26. So that is in the corner right here. But Andrea, this floor. It was at MGM Studios in the rehearsal hall. So everybody danced on this floor, from Gene Kelly to
Eleanor Powell.
Eleanor Powell.
It
I
really
mean,
was like the reason why my mom wanted it when she got it. I remember for some reason that's all she wanted to talk about, was that this was where Eleanor Powell did all of her numbers. Now, obviously, a lot of people used it.
Of course.
But in her mind, Eleanor Powell was led the field in
Right.
so many ways as dancers go. I'll put it on the close-up camera.
I've got it.
I got a
But what
close-up
I
camera.
also love about it is that after it left the MGM
What?
studios,
You want me to sign what?
sign it.
You want me to sign it to her? Did she say that? Do you know her?
Front or back?
Well, on the back. I don't sign them on the front.
Okay. So,
So
here's
signing it to who? Just spell it.
Andrea. 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 And Andrea also, after it left MGM Studios, Debbie had it installed in Studio D, which how many square feet was that dance
5,000.
hall? 5,000 square feet. It was huge, and it's where everybody choreographed their movies
There's her
and
name on there. You can
plays.
show it to her.
There you go, Andrea. That's for you. And Michael Jackson danced on this floor many times, but they rehearsed Thriller before they shot it in that dance Studio D, and this is the floor. So congratulations. And if anybody wants to purchase one of these, they are for sale on the Debbie Reynolds studiostore.com.
I
Debbie
keep
Reynolds
forgetting
Studio
about these.
Store.
We haven't sold
Yeah.
those in a while.
No.
And we have a sale too.
Oh, that's right. Thank you,
Oh.
Ryan. Ryan, make yourself known and tell everybody about the sale that we just
Come out from
started.
behind that curtain.
Pay attention to that
Man
man
behind
behind
the
the curtain. So there you are. Hi.
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 We do have a sale going on at the Debbie Reynolds studio store. Let me actually pull that up for you. People would care more about that than they care about seeing my face.
Oh,
here
you,
you go.
it's
We
so
have a
good to see you.
special 20% off everything in the store. And I just wanted to point out we have lots of cool things that we've put here in the just added section. So you can kind of scroll through. There's some pretty cool things in here.
Now you see that little Ann Miller picture there. That was.
I do.
That's a little. Did you put how big that is? It's not very big. It's only what, like 4.
It's 3 by 2.
All right. Did you write it down? Right. It's tiny, tiny. But look, isn't that cute that she
Oh,
would have
yeah.
put that picture of Ann Miller in there?
Yeah.
What it made me think of was, like of all the things you could stick in there, isn't it cute that she would have put
She
Annie
put
in
Ann
there?
Miller
That
in
what
there.
it was. She used to
You
call
know,
her Annie.
I like this thing too.
Well, those things are in insane condition, so I just have to believe I
They're
don't know.
From 2011. I found
Okay,
them.
they're from 2011. So somebody got it. I don't know who.
David Wolf is the name of the designer.
So somebody redid it or what?
He designed it.
The whole
so
thing.
He licensed your mom's image, and I
But I've never seen them before, so maybe they never made it on the market. But they're cool because it's that little, you dress Debbie, right? Is it
in
your
her
typical?
costumes, in her movie costumes.
I think that every gay boy should have that one of those.
Well, I kept one, you know.
Did you
framed-
keep one for yourself?
Oh yeah,
I can
framed
imagine.
it already.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, I think I might even like to play with that. Can I have a copy of that?
So cute.
I used to watch my mother dress all the time. Fascinating.
You had the real Barbie.
Yes,
yeah,
you
I'd
did.
seen her put that red dress on many times.
Ryan, what else do you like?
Oh, look at that. So that Paul Allen thing. You know what's kind of
Pretty-
cool about
is
that
what
thing?
this is?
Yeah.
So
Is that an invitation to the cruise?
yeah, so that was the invitation to his birthday party in Venice. The first time we ever went to his birthday party, and that was like this beautiful handmade mask that was made for her. It was like a gift, and
Was
everybody.
it a cruise ship party?
Yeah, that would no. He rented the freaking Denali, you know, the island hotel
yeah.
in Venice.
Oh my gosh, the Hotel Denali.
The whole thing, the whole
that's
island, and
craziness.
then there's pictures of Carrie and I and my mom, and Carrie's got her mask on, you see, and we're wearing costumes from Marie Antoinette. I have Tyrone Power's outfit on, this stunning, beautiful silk with silver embroidery. My mother has Merrill Oberon's. No, that's not it. It's who is Norma Shear. She has Norma Shear's costume, and look at all the silver bullion in my mother's costume. It's amazing. Anyway, that was the invitation. It was one of the most
So,
elaborate parties
Paul,
in the
from
history.
Paul Allen, who is,
Co-founder of Microsoft.
yeah, and I just really liked him so much. He was so incredibly wealthy, and yet if you met him, you'd never know who it was or what he had. He was just
Oh yeah, low-key guy.
very low-key person.
This is a really cool item from the hotel. These are pure silver, 1 ounce of pure silver. There was a machine that used to be like a slot machine, and you would win these tokens. And believe it or not, those are my tokens. I used to, when I would be bored, I would play that machine because I liked winning those silver coins. And they didn't give me a chance to ever get any. The only way to get them was out of the machine. So I used to play that machine. So this is actually from my collection of Debbie stuff. Now there's a Frank Worth picture. I go back to that. That is actually on acrylic, and it's actually three-dimensional. Sammy is out in front of the color Maryland. That is a really trick piece of wall art. How big was that thing? It's like 15 by 20. But that's different than the black and white stuff. I mean, this is a piece of, somebody went to a lot of trouble to cut out Sammy and superimpose him where he actually would have been. I'm not sure what to call that kind of art, but it's really quite something.
Awesome.
Anything else?
Yeah. And I would also point out,
Is there a
that,
is there a
Kat-
coupon code, or is it just
Everything
no,
shows.
the 20% comes off automatically. So once you shop, the 20% comes off. If you do spend more than, I think it's $150, free shipping automatically happens for you as well. So
Well-
that ends on Tuesday. So if you see things in here you like, including some things from Kat, we should highlight some of your things.
When are you
here.
going to put your clothes up there? You kept telling everybody you're going to have some
I know
clothing.
it's basically, yeah, it's just, yeah, we just have to buckle down to do it. But that is a really cool thing. That is a replica. It's a license plate, and it's the replica of the one that was on Kit
How can
on
you
Knight
sell that so
Rider.
cheap?
And it's because I want people to have them, and it's got the stickers on it of the year that Knight Rider was actually launched, which was May of 1982. It's a beautiful replica of the actual license plate used on the car. I love this. It's so fun, and it's very well priced, and I will sign it for you. And
you know, Ryan-
Then I have my postcards
Yeah.
there.
Sorry.
I have my postcards on the. There's 10 postcards in there, and there's a picture
9.
of them. 9 postcards,
I have those in every
and they're
drawer
in
in my
linen,
room.
and they're beautiful, but they're bound. So, and then there's a bio on the back. So that is a fun thing to have. And the picture there is from, do you have,
And then a lot of
is that
pictures.
the picture from Knight Rider at the end of White Bird on the right
is.
there? Yep, that's a really famous picture from that series. And then, so those are pictures that are inside, is that, or are those 8x10s? I can't tell.
Those are all 8x10s.
Oh, those are all 8x10s, okay. So those are 8x10s, and of course, I'm happy to sign any of them to whoever you like. I didn't even know all that stuff was up there, so there you go.
Hey,
Yeah,
show
great
them the
sale.
gold chain, Ryan, because that's a big item that we put up recently. I had found this.
Oh, this
Yes. So that doesn't look like much, but that is a very heavy. In fact, how many grams is it? It's like many ounces.
Really?
Yes. It's like over. It's almost. I think it's like it's almost 2 ounces of gold, and it's a very heavy gold chain that she used to wear. And I kept the others there. I had 2 gold chains, kind of like this, that were super heavy, and the pendant. I'd seen her wear this necklace with and without that pendant. But the pendant's gold, obviously, and turquoise. No, jade, excuse me. But I think you probably photographed it without the pendant as well, or did you? Because it does, yeah, there you go. So you can take it on or off. But it's a stunning, heavy, heavy gold chain. Now, but just the melt value alone on this, if you look up the weight of it, is, close to the price that we're offering it for, if I'm not mistaken. It is. So that's a stunning piece if you want a flashy, heavy gold necklace. And a lot of guys, wear heavy gold necklaces these days. Do you have anything to say? Is that true? Yeah, no, I don't mean just those kind. I don't mean just those guys. I see
I
see
think
all.
we have a couple of things from Carrie too.
Oh, what did we add of Carrie's? Oh, the pen. All right, that's a big deal. Yeah, so. Oh, the space pen. No, I forgot about that. So that was given to Carrie when they launched her DNA up into space with my mother's stuff, and they gave that to her at that time. And there's another pen that we're going to be listing, by the way. I don't think it's there.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's actually got a little space shuttle on it. There's her shoes when she was a kid, her clogs. Those are her personal shoes. And I can remember her always wearing those. Those had a lot of wear. There's something that's not listed yet that's going to go up. We have a Mont Blanc pen of Carrie's that actually has the ad that was in high-end magazines from Mont Blanc of Carrie wearing a Mont Blanc watch.
I remember
and has the
seeing
pen,
that
and
the
then
other
I have
night.
the pen, and I don't know why that's not up yet because I actually gave it to him a little while ago. I'm keeping the green one that was hers, but the other one I'm putting up. So yeah, it's a lot of cool new things.
There are
And
a lot
of course,
things.
all the money goes towards our projects and so forth. So
Well, the
it's,
letters are in full
it's-
swing. In fact, what we're trying to do right now, beat the weather, is first of all, we're finishing this kind of porte-cochere on the front of the shop so we can work on those letters outside, because much of what has to be done to them is smelly lacquer and resins and things like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to we're finishing this little porte-cochere thing, and then we're gonna start keeping you informed on how that progress is going on the Debbie letters.
Right. And right now, I'm going to put on YouTube in the chat. I am putting my website because I didn't do it right, and I'm hoping I just did it right. At katherinehicklin.com if you want to look at it, the date, April 26th, for my comedy hypnosis show I'm doing there, and mind reading show. It's going to be really fun. So this will all go bye-bye. So if you see it, copy and paste it. It's katherinehicklin.com. And I want to thank everybody for coming
before you go
tonight.
away, Roy Wagner just brought up a point.
Okay.
On the Frank Worth picture of Sammy and Marilyn, he
Uh-huh.
said that was shot on the old back lot at Fox. So
Oh.
before Century City was there, that was the back lot for 20th Century Fox. All that land going
You mean
all
where
the
the
way.
mall is? Or
The
where-
Century Plaza Towers,
All
the
of that?
Century Plaza Hotel.
I did not
all of
know
that
that.
was the back lot,
Wow.
going all the way to Beverly Hills High School.
Wow.
So it was huge back lots. And he's just saying that picture was taken on that back lot.
Well, thank you, Roy Wagner, and hello there. I had a fun time tonight. I hope you did too. It was just really a great, fun, all over the place show, but always about love, isn't it? It's so great. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us on behalf of Kyle and Ryan and Todd and myself and Seth and Buck, we thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend. Now, if you donated tonight, you watch the scroll that we're about to play. And also, are we going to play the song again after that for people? So people can say goodnight to each other? Sure. Okay, Ryan, did you hear all that?
We'll do both.
We'll do both. We'll do the scroll first, maybe, because thank you for donating. Appreciate it. Okay, whatever way you want to do it, Ryan, you're in control.
Roll 'em.
Tammy's in love. The old hooty owl, hooty hoos to the dove. Tammy, Tammy's in love. Does my lover feel what I feel when he comes near? My heart beats so joyfully. You'd think that he could hear. Wish I knew if he knew what I'm dreaming of. Tammy, Tammy's in love. Thank you very much. Ago I had a crush, but you never knew. Then 40 years went by and chance had me run into you. The moment our eyes met, it was love at first sight. In the Paso Robles parking lot, you asked me to be your wife. Before you came into my life, I didn't know what real love looked like. I don't know where I'd be without you by my side. Dreams really do come true, 'cause God gave me you.
And he's just
We're going to get him a service tag so he can be a service chicken.
I can drive.
It wasn't always easy, the both of us have been through so much. You taught me what it's like to be truly loved. You've changed my life for the better in every single way. I can't help but fall more in love with you each day. Before you came into my life, I didn't know what real love looked like. I don't know where I'd be without you by my side. Dreams really do come true, 'cause God gave me you. I always wanted a man that put God first in his life. You've showed me grace and forgiveness.